Well, what is going on, guys, and welcome into the video. The market has finally taken a breather from the ridiculous run up from the June lows when everybody was running to the hills, selling off everything, and another 50% drop was imminent. Except it actually wasn't, and the exact opposite happened. Well, I'm actually going to tell you the 4 stocks closest to my price targets that I'm pouring 6 figures into, despite them being up massively in some cases from those lows in June. However, I also want to give you guys a huge warning as well about something that has already started happening and will keep going as we move forward. So we will discuss all of that today, and I just ask in exchange for you to gently tap that like button and consider subscribing too. It's super easy to do if you like the truth without the hype. And comment down below with the top 4 stocks that you want to buy out there. I'd love to see what you guys are buying. Now let me be very clear. I have no clue if June was the bottom or not, and honestly, I don't care. But I do know some of my stocks will continue to march up, some are going to trade flat, and some will trade down and even make new lows, even if the market doesn't make new lows. And honestly, I hope we honestly take another leg down. But I also honestly have no clue if it will happen. But you guys know I love discounts, and the market getting uglier is exactly how you build long-term wealth with the right mindset and the right plan in place. But I also refuse to not take advantage of an opportunity slapping me in the face when I get it because it might go lower or this chart says this or whatever. Those of you guys out there, and I actually know it was a lot of you guys out there, but those that were prepared and ignored the noise and all the drama and just executed their plan, took advantage of the great opportunity in stocks, and no matter what happens, I know you all will continue to take advantage as the market gives us opportunities. But don't lose hope if you miss those June buys. There will be more opportunities, there always is. Now they may not be as good, or they may possibly even be better, but there will be opportunities, no doubt in my mind. I know I've shown this chart before, but my buying and yours too will probably look just like this chart from the financial crisis. The circle is the bottom of that market, and all my buys were pretty much closer to the arrows in the circle during that time. They all look, genius now years later, but I didn't get close to the bottom once with any buy I made. That means during this crash that we're currently in, buys made both before the bottom and the buys made after the bottom will look great too over the long run. Are we before or after the bottom? I have no freaking clue, and neither does anybody else. So we need to keep executing regardless of if we have a bottom or not, if the market runs, if it stagnates, or drops further and gets really ugly. So on to the first stock I will buy more of, and this will be a little bit controversial for sure, and that is Meta. I agree. Now, whoa, slow down. Don't yell at me. They have to shift the business again if they want to get back on track to being one of the big 5 stocks that are continuing to grow, and they have done it successfully before when everyone said they were basically done and couldn't do it anymore. But the thing I love is they are not trading at a growth multiple, not a solid company multiple, and they are trading at an even cheaper multiple than a value stock. Those old man stocks. Oh, and they just keep churning out profits despite burning billions on the metaverse. And even if it's a huge flop, they are still a better growth company and more profitable than any value play out there. By every metric you can look at, it doesn't matter. It is way undervalued, and with literally half the world using their products, we're talking billions of customers here, guys. But even if the metaverse fails epically, they can still find other ways to monetize that unrivaled reach that they have. That number is just massive, guys. It won't take much for them to turn into a growth beast if they figure that out, so I will happily add shares as it continues to be undervalued in my opinion. So you can totally head on the pick if you want. I totally understand, guys. Not every stock is right for everyone, and I could completely be wrong on this one, but I'm buying more of Meta stock. So on to stock number 2 that I will continue to buy more of, and that is Google. Google to me has been steadily and quietly really getting cheap and then stupid cheap, despite being a great business, great management, and having an undeniable moat, and just honestly just being one of the best stocks out there. When it fell after Snap's earnings because Wall Street is just stupid and dumb to basically connect those 2 businesses together, they couldn't be any more different, I had to make a massive buy at $105 just before their earnings call. And you guys know me, I'm not a guy who buys around earnings at all. I don't do it, I don't advocate for it, and I had to put up a disclaimer with the buy alert in my group saying this is not an earnings play because it was so unusual for me to buy, basically the day before an earnings call. It is simply a great company that went below my price target, and at $105, I had to take advantage. And if it would have taken a dump after earnings, I would have happily bought more again. So I will continue adding to this stock as we move forward, as it continues to be a great deal, and it's just honestly one of those stocks that Wall Street is just completely ignoring, and that's great for you and I as small investors. And don't forget, you get all these buy alerts we will discuss today in real time, exclusive videos, direct access to me anytime, live Q&As, and a ton more in the Market Insiders private group. And I feel fairly confident we have more content than any other group out there for the price. Oh, and there is something special getting close to completion that will drop for those members in the coming weeks, and I might have put up the discount code a little bit early for it too. So it's the pinned comment down below if you're interested. So the third stock I will continue to pour money into, and that's PayPal. For me, anything under $100 per share is just ridiculous, and honestly, even $150 is a very good deal as well. And I was able to buy shares in this stock in June for $74, $61, $67, and I bought again in July at $69.69 because, well, I mean, do you really have to ask me why? It's currently kind of flirting with that $100 mark again, but I will gladly continue to add on any weakness as this is just a steal in my opinion. Sometimes Wall Street gives you gifts, and in this case, it's a stock that is just on a steal deal. But wait! There were still more deals to be had, but not without a little bit of controversy, especially here on YouTube. So the last stock, and the most controversial stock we will discuss today, is Palantir. My last 3 buys of Palantir were at $7.99, which obviously immediately sent it down to $7.38, where I bought again, and then down under $7 at $697 or so, where I bought again, and of course it went lower after that, because it always does after I buy. And you guys, check my group. They check me all the time, basically waiting for me to buy, and then everybody piles in afterwards because of course the price goes lower. I will continue to add to this stock as I just did not see the earnings call the same way as many others did. Now remember, I'm not blasting those people or anything else like that. Investing is individual, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with those folks not being happy with that earnings call and deciding to sell, or just seeing the earnings call completely different than I did. There is nothing wrong with that, just like there's nothing wrong with me not being alarmed and looking to add more. So to me, it's still a steal deal under 10 bucks, so I will continue to add on any weakness that may come. But I need to warn all you out there about one thing I am seeing in particular everywhere. I mean, in the comment section, in my travels, when I'm doing business, even in my group a little bit, and that is many folks are living in the past, and that is not productive or helpful to your investing. So I know that may not have made a lot of sense, so let me give you an example of what I mean. I routinely see people looking back and hoping they bought Tesla back in June at 620 or whatever the heck it eventually fell down to. Now that was before the split, guys. Calm down. I still just haven't adjusted it in my head yet. I was thinking through these examples, I couldn't possibly do the conversion right now. But basically choose any stock that had a low in June has rocketed back up, and those are the exact situations I'm talking about. People are looking back and longing for those days again and looking for any reason, any indicator, any video, anything that will make them feel better, and that says the market is going to fall like a rock back to those levels or even lower. Now to be clear, that may very well happen. I have no idea, and neither does anyone else. But while your focus is on the past, the opportunities right now are in front of you, and it's very easy to miss them if you're always looking back. I mean, a few months ago, a lot of folks would have been thrilled to buy Tesla under $800, but then a lot of those same folks didn't pull the trigger when that happened because, it might go lower, and even when it was at 650, some of those folks still didn't buy because it might go lower, or emotions are now dictating your decisions, or whatever the heck happened back then. And if Tesla falls back under whatever the split adjusted price is, that would be under $800 again, you may not buy again because you now want $600 to cover for your mistake you made not buying it at that price last time. No issues at all if that is where you think it's going and your research and your plan and your price target says that. But for many folks out there, if it ran up to $1,200 again, you would think the current price is a steal. But looking back at that past is actually keeping you from taking advantage of those steal deal prices. This is why having a plan, not letting emotions or noise or even YouTubers' opinions creep in and dictate what you do next. Whether we know it or not, whether it's intentional or not, many of us, including me, I'm guilty of this too sometimes, are trying to time the bottom, and it's just an impossible game to play. I intentionally buy looking 3 to 5 years out. That's it, guys. I don't care what happens in 2 weeks or 2 months in terms of the price of the stock. Have a plan if it goes lower or if it runs up, but you will never time the bottom, so don't worry about it and just execute your plan instead. So hopefully this was helpful, and if you don't know how to get a price target or how to do a valuation and want a step-by-step process for doing that, building wealth, and you want direct access to me and much more, remember to check out the pinned comment down below to become a member and at least look at everything you get. And click this video here for the stocks I'm still buying in this market, and click here for exactly what I'm doing to make huge money in this market. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.